order.
Deputy Speaker.
David Davis.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Earlier this week, the Commissioner for Standards published the names of 9 members currently under investigation for breaches of the Code of Conduct. The names were published along with the allegations made against them. She was able to do this following a motion passed by the House on the 21st of April, amending Standing Order 150. This was brought before the House as part of a package of changes that passed after a very brief debate and without a vote. This is a very serious matter. A finding of a breach of the Code of Conduct can destroy reputations, end careers, effectively end the working lives of individuals concerned, and perhaps most importantly, it can have a devastating effect upon their families. Yet under the Commissioner's amended power, she is able to publicise the allegations without the individual being able to defend themselves or respond publicly. Those who claim that members can defend themselves are wrong, Madam Deputy Speaker. I've had access to legal advice on the matter. Paragraph 17 of the Committee on Standards report requires any member's proposed statement in response to be subject to approval by the Commissioner. In effect, this is the prosecutor being given the right of veto over the defence. So this allows information to be issued under the power of privilege of this House, which can then be used by others to attack the reputation of honourable members, without them having the right, the ability to freely defend themselves. This defies natural justice. If any one of my constituents were to face such a procedure, I would be raising hell on their behalf. I imagine other members would do the same for their constituents. It cannot be right that we do not allow to members of Parliament the same rights that we would fight for our constituents. Here, in the mother of parliaments, particularly today, on the 80th anniversary of its destruction by an authoritarian power. It also allows the political weaponisation of a process which is supposed to be fair and just. It is, in my view, in complete defiance of natural justice and accordingly contrary to access to justice under the European Convention on Human Rights. I'd be grateful, Madam Deputy Speaker, if you could let the House know whether the Speaker's Council was asked for an opinion on the compliance with the European Convention before the vote was put to the Commons. And if not, and it's perfectly proper if not, please can such an opinion be requested to guide the committee and the House to ensure members' rights are not trampled. I have been party on a number of occasions to the defeat of the British government in the European Court of Human Rights. I would hate to see the same happen to this Parliament.
I'm grateful to the Right Honourable Gentleman for giving me notice of his point of order. He is right to state that on the 21st of April, the House endorsed the recommendations of the Committee on Standards, which included a recommendation that the Commissioner should have authority to publish a list of non-ICGS investigations, returning the situation to that before the 19th of July 2018. He is also correct that the process endorsed by the House contains a provision in some circumstances for a rebuttal to be issued, but that the wording of any such rebuttal requires the approval of the Commissioner. The Committee's deliberations on its report and the advice taken are a matter for the Committee and not for me or the Speaker. As the House has endorsed the process we are discussing, it is also not for me to comment on his criticisms of it. However, he has put his views on the record and he might wish to pursue the issues he has raised with the committee itself.
If I might.
Point of order, Chris Bryant, Chair of the...
I just want to be helpful to the House in this point, and I've already had a private conversation with the Honourable Member about this. I think the committee will obviously consider the matter that the Right Honourable Member has already raised. I am absolutely clear in my mind, and I'm sure that the committee is, both that the Commissioner was granted the power to do this by the House, indeed was required by the House to do this in returning to the situation that existed before July 2018, and even more importantly, that the committee will always consider every single instance that comes before us on an entirely impartial basis so as to secure justice and fairness for every single member of this House.
I thank the Chair of the Committee for that clarification and suggest we now move on. Presentation of Bill, Secretary Kwasi Kwarteng.